My name's Maureen Baxter, and I've been asked to say how I feel that God has been with me throughout this time, this year of lockdown, COVID and all that. When I heard about lockdown, I'm on my own. My husband died 3 years ago, and I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I'll be stuck here on my own. My other son lives in London, and my son Ian lives in Thailand. I thought, I haven't got any other family in Sheffield, and I felt sort of I'm going to be really, really alone here and sort of not feeling very good at all. But then my son in Thailand said, he's a vicar there, and he said, I won't be preaching at church on Sunday. I said, why not? And he said, well, because I'm coming home. I said, what? I can't believe it. He said, yes, I'm coming with you to be, with you during lockdown. Thinking lockdown would be sort of a few weeks. So he booked his flight and arrived on, I think it was a Monday, wherever it was. And which was wonderful to see him, and I was so thrilled. And of course he booked his flight. It was 3 weeks. He'll probably be here about 6 weeks, but then things went on, and the Thai government, they decided that because of little COVID in Thailand, they shut all the borders, and so he couldn't get back, and so he was stuck here, and which was, wonderful for me because I had his company, which was really, really good. But so he said, well, I'm stuck here now for months. What are we going to do? So he said, why don't we go buy a camper van and sort of go touring in Scotland or somewhere? I said, okay. So he went on eBay, and we bought this 34-year-old camper van, and we've had the most wonderful holidays in that. We went down to Norwich to see my nephew and nieces down there, and some friends of Ian's from his church in Thailand who live in Boston, near Boston, and went there. And then we had a big adventure, and we went to Scotland, right up the east coast of Scotland, right up to John O'Groats, and along the top and down the other side. This was a very special time, a time, for both of us, and it was wonderful. And all this time, I've just been so fortunate that God has been with me. I've had Ian here. I've not been on my own. I've not felt lonely, obviously, and so this time of lockdown and COVID and all that, for me, has been a wonderful time because otherwise I'd have been here by myself. But then Ian's going back soon, in the 8th of January, which is wonderful now, and I'm so pleased for him that he's actually able to go back to Thailand to his work there, to his church there. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, this is not going to be easy. I'm going to really, really miss him. I'll have to try and, find somebody whose bubble can I be in. And when I spoke to my lovely neighbours next door, and I told them when Ian was going back, and Kath said straight away, well, we'll form a bubble. Now, they're a lovely Christian couple, and they have a 4-month-old baby, Ruth, who of course I've not been able to nurse or anything. And when she said this, I couldn't believe it. It was just so wonderful. I didn't have to ask to be in their bubble. They said, you be in our bubble. And I said, well, I'll be able to nurse Ruth. And she said, yes, you will. And it's just been just amazing how God has been in all this, because from thinking, oh dear, what am I going to do when Ian's not here? And I will miss him, obviously, but I've got that to look forward to, the fact that, Kath said we can go in and out of one another's houses, and we can, and she said, you'll be good for me because I'm on my own, and so we can help one another. And this has just been absolutely amazing how God has worked through all this, and I'm just so thankful and feel so blessed because I know that God has been with me all this time and throughout all this, and I know He will be with me, when Ian goes back, and I won't be on my own. I know after my husband died, I had this sort of, not the voice of God, but somebody saying to me, don't be afraid, I'm with you. And this is how it's been all through this year. Such a dreadful year for so many people, but for me it's been quite a blessed year. So I thank God for that.